Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Hey everyone, it's Sarah with Yeleedos. So today I am going to be stripping a table. This table was one that we used when I was a kid, and I've always wanted to strip it and refinish it and just never really found the time to. So it's been hanging out in the barn for about 5 years now. And today we are going to get started. I'm going to go through some of the products that I'm going to use, some of the scraping utensils that I'm going to use, and then kind of my method of doing it. I will say that if you want to tackle on a project like this, I highly recommend wearing clothing that you do not mind throwing away afterwards, because it tends to get pretty messy depending on the size of the project and the method in which you strip. You can sand completely. I do not like that. This table has, you'll see it, but it kind of has a wax finish on it. So to sand it, it's not, it would take me forever. So I am going to go in with a product called Citrus Strip, and I have the paint on version and then the aerosol can. I start off with the paint off version, and then the aerosol can is used for, after I strip it the first time, I go back and hit any little spots that didn't come up completely with the aerosol can. It just makes it a lot faster. And then whenever you are painting it, I call it a duster brush. Essentially, it's just a paintbrush that you're not going to really use for paint anymore. And then just a empty plastic container. You'll use that to pour your citrus strip in after you shake it, so that way you can just kind of dip your brush and go. And then for my scrapers, I like to go in with something a little heavy duty for the harder areas. And then I usually just pick these up at Lowe's. They usually come in like a 3-pack of different sizes. These are awesome because they're fairly inexpensive. And then if they get nasty and you can't get them clean, you just throw them away and purchase new ones. So we'll get started, and I'll kind of walk you through the process. Okay, so to start, I've already poured some of my citrus strip into my container, and I'm just going to start from the spot farthest away from me and literally just start painting it on. It doesn't really matter what it looks like, how much you use, as long as you cover every area. I usually go back a couple of times just to make sure I've really gotten it into the grooves and worked it into my material that I'm going to be stripping. This table has, like I said, it's got a wax finish on it, and it has yellowed. You can see it's kind of yellowed over the years, and I really think that it would look nice with white legs and a stained top. So this video is going to be over the course of a few days, depending on how easy this finish comes off of the table. You're going to paint it on and then leave it from anywhere from 30 minutes to 24 hours. I do not leave it on for 24 hours. It usually starts coming off in about an hour, hour and a half. So we will see. Like I said, this is a fairly large area. I usually work half at a time. There's literally no rhyme, reason, method, right way, wrong way. You're just gonna take your paintbrush and brush it on. Make sure to cover all of the areas. Now, when I go back and start stripping, since this table does have like a veneered lattice work top to it, I am going to strip following the wood grain. It makes it a lot easier. I already stripped the leaves for this table. It's got 2 very large leaves, so it can extend to be really big. I found that following the wood grain on this, even though it's just a veneer, works a lot better than just trying to scrape all in one direction. Kind of trial and error. Okay, so now that I've got all of my stripper painted onto the table, it's just a waiting game from here on out. I'll come back after probably 45 minutes just to kind of do a light scrape test. It will probably take a little bit longer than that, but when it is ready to scrape, we will kind of get started. And once again, I'll go through some of the processes and some of the tools that I use just as kind of a refresher. Okay, so I did my test strip and everything seems to be coming off pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into scraping it. The weather is starting to get cloudy and cold, so I'm going to speed it up and we'll go ahead and get started, okay? Okay, so we got half of the table scraped. I'm going to go ahead and start on the other half of the table. Again, if you have to go back and use like a spray or even just more of the paint stripper, you're more than welcome to do so. There's already a few spots I've notated that I'm going to have to go back through. And then once it's all said and done, I'll kind of give you guys a visual of the next step and what it currently looks like. Okay, so now that we've got our second coat of stripper onto the table, I'm going to give this about 30-45 minutes. It shouldn't take as long as it did last time because it's already kind of penetrated. I know in the previous video I stated that I would use an aerosol can for any hard to get spots, but since there was such a large area of spots that did not want to come up completely, I just went ahead and dumped it on there and spread it with my paintbrush. Either way you want to do it is completely up to you. I'm very impatient and I just want it done now. So after I come out and do the test scrape and then we get this coat lifted off, we'll go back in with a paint stripper afterwash. What this pretty much does is remove any remaining coating and then also the stripping residue itself. So that way when you do go to top coat, you get a nice clean uniform finish. And I'm hoping that the rain holds off or whatever it decides to do. It's North Carolina, so who knows. But yeah, so it's hurry up and wait again. So